The future belongs to service providers who innovate without limits. That's why the fastest growing service providers are choosing the NetSapiens platform. Visit netsapiens.com.
Hey everybody, it's Doug Green and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News, and we're back with Michelle Ritz, who's Jabra's product manager for headsets. Michelle,
Hey,
thank
Doug.
you for joining me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me again. Good to see you.
Nice seeing you. And as we were just talking about just before, like, you have the best job. Who everyone understands, at least I think everyone knows what a headset is, and everyone wants a headset.
Absolutely. And we've brought some new ones to market that have been getting some rave reviews. So really excited to be able to talk about some new headsets and some new technologies in headsets that are really exciting.
Yeah, so we're talking about the Evolve3 portfolio. We're going to see actual slides of the product in just a minute. But why did you guys do this? Why did you guys move into Evolve3?
Yeah, that's a great question, Doug. I think it's really the way people are working has changed significantly over the last years. But when we look at organizations, they're still deploying the same headset across every employee, regardless of their role or their work environment. So that's one key factor. We also know that when we talk about AI, voice is becoming increasingly important in that collaboration with AI. So there's a need for audio solutions that are designed for the different work styles, and it's not a one size fits all approach. So this lineup that we're bringing with Evolve3, it's giving organizations a structured upgrade path from our current Evolve2 line. It's going to reduce complexity, and it's really designed to make deployments easier to manage. So our goal is to help organizations deliver a more consistent experience across the workforce, really supporting how people are working today, the meetings, but also looking into the future and how AI powered workflows are going to continue to develop.
Well, let's take a look at the product line itself. So let's put up the slides there. There we go. And it's interesting, right off the bat, I see that you guys are saying there are different people that use different headsets for different reasons, right? And different
Absolutely.
circumstances and stuff.
It's not a one size fits all anymore for every employee. So if you think about how in the past, there was traditionally the same headset was given to the entire workforce if they were working, no matter where they were working. But if you think about today's workforce, it includes folks that are desk-based employees, people working in open offices, even hybrid professionals, and they each have different needs. So rather than relying on, one size fits all approach, we've expanded the Evolve3 portfolio that's going to allow the organizations to match the right headset to the right work style. So that's what's super important. But when you think about Evolve3, Doug, we're at its foundation providing the same experience, and it's really laddering up to our 4 pillars that we see here. It's at our foundation, at our core, we are providing world-class audio because we know that that's a big pain point in meeting and quality of those calls. We also want appeal. Organizations don't want to give their employees a headset that's going to end up in a desk drawer. So having adoption and the appeal and lightweight headsets is going to help solve that. We talked a little bit about AI and how that's the future, and it's really voice led. We do it now when we talk to, things like, hey, Google, hey, Alexa. I don't want to say it too loud so I don't set off anybody's current AI interactions, but we're doing it now, and we see that trend evolving and people leaning into using AI with their voice. And the transcription and the accuracy of what you're inputting into the AI is what's super important. That's what's going to make it productive and going to drive adoption. So that is a huge perspective of how we're bringing Evolve3 and its purpose. And we all wrap it up by our assurances. So things, that help ITDMs have less tickets, more battery life, compatibility. It's built on Bluetooth LE audio, but also our Jabra Plus management, being able to deploy these en masse, scalable and manageable as well.
So there's the lineup.
That is our lineup. So if you recall, Doug, I think we spoke earlier this year, we introduced 2 flagship products, our best headsets for modern work, the Evolve3 75 and 85. So again, just really astounding new technology, removing that boom arm, that mic arm that most people use. But we
Mm.
know that there's still room for having, a headset that's lightweight and that still has that mic arm there. So we're expanding the Evolve3 portfolio, and this will be our full modern work lineup. Again, focusing on how people work, where they work, and their needs. So we're introducing 3 new products that fit the bill, and that brings our full Evolve3 portfolio, to market to really be able to cover those office workers and those hybrid workers.
And your headset has a boom, I think.
Yes, I am actually wearing the Evolve 365. So super lightweight, super comfortable. From customer feedback, we've had that boom arm where you can wear it on either side. Some really great features, and we'll talk about the 3 different products. But again, in an open office, you need that boom arm. I'm not, taking a phone call outside or having to be in windy environments. But if you are, or a more hybrid worker where you're taking calls on the go, our Evolve 365 Flex is an amazing device. It's more compact than our previous version, lightest in its category. And Doug, as you see there, we've actually are leaning into new technology and algorithms that allow us to remove that boom arm, but not sacrifice that audio quality. So we're leaning into DNN technology, deep neural network algorithms that have been trained and based on lots of different learnings that focus on the user's voice. So that's how we're able to remove that mic arm, but still give you that quality. And that's what you're getting with that 365 Flex. And this one specifically for hybrid workers, because it is that most compact. So I have it right here, super slim, super sleek. My cell phone, just for reference in terms of size, something that you can throw in your backpack, folds up, long battery life, and that compatibility to use throughout your day.
And they're showing here someone getting on board maybe a subway or some
Yeah.
kind of light rail. I'm also thinking, there's places in the country that have trains, and people take even Amtrak to work and so on. And kind of looks nerdy to have a boom, right? The on your, so this is like a little bit more, you're probably just listening to music and talking to yourself, maybe, right? As opposed to, but it's just as effective as what you're saying. In other words, this will allow you to be in the Zoom meeting that you happen to attend from the train.
Absolutely. And that's, you made 2 great points there. So again, that nerdy look with the boom arm. So one,
Right,
it's an appeal thing, people associate that boom arm with like call center agents, or they don't want that in front of their mouth when they're out in public. So
right.
removing that boom arm drives the appeal, that drives the adoption. But also when you think about in those environments, someone getting on a train or walking through a train station, an airport, there's wind noise coming from that movement. So removing the boom arm actually, the boom arm would pick up more of that wind noise. So removing it actually allows you to use it in windier, noisier environments. And that DNN technology ensures you're using that it's picking up the user's voice, no one around. And Doug, we've launched the 385/75, which were the first 2 that removed the mic arm, and we've done demos on trade show floors from our product manager riding a bicycle in a noisy environment. And it's astounding how you can still use these. So not only are you listening to music or enjoying your media, you can be on that Zoom call and not worry about the noise around you or people not being able to hear you.
Yeah, and I'm it's always interesting. I like it when organizations basically say we need to offer choices. Right? There will be any number of reasons people actually want the boom arm, and they even want to present with the boom arm, right? That there's going to be reasons the other way.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's choice too. Some people don't want to have, something. And it's, yeah, as we talk about the differences in the headsets, that as you jump up in number, you jump up in experience. So again, somebody who wants a little bit more ANC or total noise cancellation would go for that larger wearing style of like a 385. But somebody who's on calls all day long and wants something a little bit more lightweight might gravitate towards a 345 or 65, just because it is a little bit more lightweight, and they don't have to block out as much noise in their environments.
Before we leave this slide, or maybe we should go to the next one. We haven't really talked a lot lately about collaboration. Used to talk about it all the time.
Mhm.
Um, does that factor into Evolve 3?
Absolutely. So we, as with all of our products, we talk a lot about the collaboration of different platforms, and Jabra loves to be able to, work with all different platforms, because we know, again, it's not just choice of your headset. We know that organizations use different platforms. We use Teams, we use Zoom, we switch interoperably with those platforms. So having those certifications and ensuring that we work well with those platforms is essential. So we have that certification across our products, that interoperability, a Teams variant. So if there's an organization who's all in on Teams and wants that ability to access Team or have that Teams button, that's an option. Or our general UC variant that works with all platforms. And what that means, Doug, too, I think what, people hear that, oh, what does a certified product mean? Or, that means that platform, that company has taken the product, they've tested it. So things like your muting, your call controls are going to work. If you've ever been on a call and you get that dreaded double mute, it's because it's not communicating with the platform. So when you have those devices that are certified, it will ensure that it'll work and those call controls are working within the platform, and you don't have to mess around with all of those different buttons and things like that.
And that, what are we looking at here? It looks like we have two very related products, but there's a choice.
Yes. So this is the slide that shows the 365 and 365 Flex. So we started with that 365 Flex.
Right.
So the difference there is removing that boom arm. So there's no
Yeah.
mic arm, and it folds into that more portable headset. So the 365 is what I'm wearing, that has that traditional boom arm. You can rotate it one way or the other. Super lightweight, super compact and portable. Just both really great wearing styles, great headsets, just that difference in terms of how you wear it, where you're using it, and if you want that option for a more hybrid perspective of being able to fold it and take it with you.
So Michelle, after the Zoom meeting and I'm on the Long Island Railroad, can I actually use this to listen to music or watch a movie?
Exactly. And that's the whole key too. Again, we think about that crossover between, work and life balance. So I'm maybe commuting and taking a call because it's scheduled during my commute hours. So I can then switch over, listen to music, while I'm commuting into the office, use it for media. And that's also a great experience as well.
And you don't want the boom. Somehow when you're watching a movie or listening to music, you probably don't want the boom. So,
Not so necessary.
yeah. All right. So now, yeah, let's talk about the P word, productivity in the office,
Absolutely.
collaboration and productivity.
Of course, and that's super important, and especially when we talk about, that AI perspective. So
Mm,
365, just from a productivity perspective, you're getting 3 microphones, so it's amazing voice pickup, super, voice clarity, and that lightweight, a little bit larger speaker, so you have that adaptive ANC. We're still giving you that busy light, so from a productivity perspective, if you are on a call in an open office, people can see that you're on that call, and now's not a good time to disturb. So that's super important. But when we think about productivity from like an AI perspective, Doug, think about the meeting transcriptions and those recordings that we now have access to. If that input is not accurate, any of that output and the
yeah.
follow up, all of those action items that would make AI helpful and beneficial won't be as productive. So we're looking at, high 90s across the Evolve3 range of transcription accuracy. So when you think about those meeting notes, it's going to be super accurate in terms of what it's picking up of dates, follow-ups, action items, so that you can actually use it and be more productive. The last thing you need is to have to then go back and sort through transcriptions or meeting notes to see if those are accurate. So that's where that productivity and that adoption of AI is really going to be crucial in terms of making sure that the input is picking up the most accurate information.
Yeah, and this is, I think, huge as AI starts to spread into law, healthcare, finance, and so on. Actually, kind of important not to get the word wrong. It could create a lot of confusion.
A lot of confusion, and it's going to reduce productivity if it's not correct. And then we think about that voice led interaction. If we think about the future and what we're seeing in terms of development of AI, again, those prompts, if you want to voice prompt an AI and speak to it, again, if it's not hearing correctly what you're saying, it's not going to give you that right output. So that's where that's going to continue to drive and evolve, that adoption of AI and that better productivity. So I see you have our 345 up on the screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're saying this is an essential.
This is that essential. This is that, great way to get your foray into an Evolve3 product. Again, mic arm there for those situations where it's important to have that, where you don't necessarily aren't taking calls from a windy or noisy environment outside. Super lightweight, unmatched in terms of the features that we have, ANC, that 3 microphone in the boom arm. If you go to that next slide, we get a little bit more detailed in terms of that lightest headset for modern office calls. So
Hmm.
again, focusing on that appeal, super lightweight and comfortable to wear throughout your day. ANC, that's going to give you that ability to focus. So again, it's not just, what you hear from me, it's also what's happening around me. So I need to ensure that I can concentrate. If I have, if I'm in an open office and I hear people talking at the coffee machine or folks, taking calls next to me, my focus gets disturbed. So that ANC allows for me to concentrate and hear that noise. And what's unique across all 3 products is we have ANC in calls, Doug. So when you're, yes, on a plane watching your movie, listening to music, that ANC experience is great for that media. When you take a call, most enterprise headsets don't have ANC in calls. And that for us as an enterprise product is super important because we know that that's when you also want to concentrate or be able to hear what's happening in your meeting. So ANC in calls is something that is a uniqueness to what we're bringing with the Evolve3 portfolio. And like I said, those assurances, that last pillar is really what I say kind of the ribbon on top. It's all of those additional features that we've added in, that easy mute control, the dual-sided wearing based on customer preferences, our Jabra Plus for easy management across the board, great battery life, and all of these built on the latest Bluetooth chipset, that LE Audio, that drives great audio, great connectivity, but also offers future-proof capabilities that are going to drive additional features in the future.
And I flashed there the audio quality. It's a continuity from the first time we ever did a podcast together. There's always been, right, a commitment to. It's very important that the quality of the call is good on my end, and the quality of my voice is good.
Absolutely. And at our core, Doug, that's what we want to give our users is that quality of audio no matter where their environment is. And this is a great segue too to kind of just show that, just to kind of wrap it up again, we want to have an Evolve3 for every work style anywhere. It's not a one size fits all any longer. So for somebody working in an office, meaning that's their company office or their home office, they want a product that's super lightweight. That 345 is that great solution. If they want to step up of a little bit better ANC, additional features, that 365 Flex is great. And then when you think about those hybrid workers, people working between different locations, and those are typically noisier locations, that 365 Flex, super portable, super lightweight, removing that mic arm so you can take calls confidently in noisy environments. And then again, that 385 and 75 are our true noise canceling headsets, just based on form factor, that over the ear style of the 385, advanced ANC, really giving you that ability to block out your environment if that's what you need to do in your workday.
All right. All right. Well, Michelle, I really want to thank you for joining me today. This has been really interesting. Any additional places people can find out more about this product line?
Like I said, Doug, we have all of our information on Jabra.com, all of our product pages, so feel free to go there. That'd be a great place to learn about these products.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed. I'll look forward to our next recording. I'll look forward to an update actually once we get into September and these products are shipping to find out what the reaction is from everybody.
Can't wait.
Innovate without limits, scale without compromise, and never pay per seat again. Discover why providers choose netsapiens.com.